is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Mayhew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
And no Ghetto Taco sights and sounds from last Friday night again this week, but we do have a Ghetto Tacos and Robert's Integrative interview coming up with Mr. Brian Jones. Be looking forward to that. And so I hope you all enjoyed my soccer match a few weeks ago. I want to bring you more stuff like that where we go out and do something on the field. That'd be fun. Yeah. But or maybe Tony goes out there too. I mean, it's homecoming this week. You're gonna run across the field.
No. I don't want to get arrested.
Maybe hop in the ring this weekend with your brother and right after he wins, kind of like fake him out and then be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's still kind of frowned upon, but yeah, maybe.
But this episode's brought to you by Jefferson's and Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin. Go check out Robert's Integrative Dentistry if you're in the need for a brighter, straighter smile. Yeah. Get your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Wes Underwood, Tony, and Jensen out again this week. We'll jump right in and talk NCAA. We talked the top 25 in general this week. I mean, it's an exciting week again. I mean, LSU and Bama not in the top 4 or the top 10. They're in the top 15, but it's weird not to see them in the top 4 or the top 10. Teams that are Oregon, Notre Dame, Washington, Texas. I feel like Texas and Oregon are pretty legit. Notre Dame and Washington just always kind of fizzle in there. It's weird. Right. I love it. I'm glad that Bama and LSU are out, but yeah, I mean, it's new. It's exciting. But my thoughts are on this one, though. I like it, but Colorado deserves to be in the top 15. I think they should be over Bama right now, just with all the hype and everything. And if they keep winning, they're going to prove it right. But if they lose, then yeah, I'd say top 25. That's where you need to put them for now until they can earn their way back in at least to the top, maybe 15, like right at 15.
Right.
Mizzou. I think Mizzou should be in the top 25 over Florida. MU beat K-State, who was number 15 last week, and now they're just a vapor in the wind. But I don't know. You got any more thoughts here on this?
Overall, I'd say I'm kind of going back to the Colorado thing. I mean, I think they're still in the top 25. I would like to see them play somebody a little bit more to the higher caliber. But to kind of touch on the LSU and Alabama thing, I think part of it is how the NIL changed the structure of the NCAA.
True.
Allowing these schools to become more competitive by being able to pay players to, go play at their schools.
Yeah.
Via sponsorship opportunities. So I think, right. The money honestly has helped a lot, with Deion Sanders going to Colorado. They had the best recruiting class, last year. He'll probably have one of the best recruiting classes again this year.
Yeah.
And as long as the hype is still there and, there's still momentum going, they're going to be very, very competitive and probably, a top 4 team within the next year or two.
Absolutely.
I don't think so this year, but I mean, I'd like to be proven wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't want them to be that good. But I think the NIL and Deion Sanders, both of those things are kind of throwing everybody for a loop and kind of, turning Alabama and LSU, those schools that were known for their awesome football, making them less competitive.
Yep. And that's a big game changer for sure. No doubt. Next up, we move into the NFL and we talk the Denver Broncos. And it's not often I really do this and hammer a team like this, but I mean, he kind of set himself up for this. But here's a team that's 0-2. And I talk about Coach Payton here. I mean, saying that the former coach and Nathaniel Hackett was terrible and was like, he just made some weird comments about him, basically saying that he sucked and bashed him, not successful. And I mean, you know what? I think Peyton got his mouth punched in a little bit by these 2 losses. I mean, they currently sit in a tie for last in the AFC West, in which I believe every team in that division is so much better than the Broncos right now. And based on the Broncos' luck with all the injuries and stuff, the Broncos aren't going to be able to get out of this for a while until they can draft. So I think they got two, maybe 3 more years of this before they can finally be back in. But also, they're going to have to be looking for a quarterback because if they can't stay healthy, Russell Wilson ain't going to be able to do anything. I mean,
Right.
he's looked decent. He hasn't looked terrible this year, but I mean, I don't know. I believe they're going to be last in the AFC West this year, unless something changes, unless they go do something drastic in free agency. I mean, they could make a trade to get Jonathan Taylor. That'd be interesting. That'd be fun to watch. But
Right.
I mean, I just feel like they're really back where they were last season. Do you agree here? Or
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with all the injuries and everything going on, it's a tough situation where they're at. In the AFC West is still a very, very competitive, division.
yeah,
So it's not going to be an easy task, even if they kind of do turn it around. I mean, they could still easily be last because all the other teams are that good.
yeah,
So it's it's a tough situation to be in, and I'd like for them to be more competitive. I just would like to see Russell Wilson kind of go out on a shield and not a shadow of his former self.
yeah.
So I mean that's my wishes, but there's a lot more going on, and we don't know exactly what's going on. Like we talked about before, that organization needs some help. You
Yep,
know,
it's true.
drastically. I'm sure it's more than just one area.
And I really don't think Sean Payton's the answer, but I mean, I hope they give him a couple years to prove that. And if he does become successful, awesome. But I mean, for the next couple years, though, like I said, they got a long way to go because, I mean, again, the receivers have proven that they can't stay healthy 2 years in a row, knee, leg, ankle, whatever. And then you got Jerry Judy, who's still just he's good, but they're overworking him and it's hurting him. So him
Right.
sitting out for a while should be what's going on, but I mean they're trying to get him back in there. So I don't know.
Right.
Wrong direction on that front, but another team that went in the wrong direction next in the NFL, we talk the Cam Akers trade as he goes to the Vikings. Both teams really went the wrong direction here. I mean, Akers goes to the Vikings, the Rams lose him. Weird decision for the Rams. I mean, I guess they've got their guy there, but the Vikings, they released Cook, and Cook has got some weird stuff going on right now in New York. And I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on with running backs right now. I mean, I like it. I love it. But the one that really caught my attention, though, was the Browns re signing Kareem Hunt to a 1 year deal. I mean, this team didn't want him.
Right.
They didn't want him on that roster, and they didn't re-sign him, and Kareem Hunt didn't ask for a new contract. So then they go and do this, and they're like, all right, hey, we need you. RB1's opened up. We like what you've done in the past. Are you going to come? Is probably how that went. And I wonder how long it really took Kareem Hunt to just make that decision there. I wish we could just watch these decisions being made because
Right.
that'd be one I'd like to see. Be a fly on the
Right.
wall for that one because
Right.
after what the Chiefs did to him, I know the Chiefs offered him a contract this offseason and he turned it down because he kind of made a comment and then he backtracked it on Twitter. Not quite sure what happened there. Obviously, it was something he probably didn't feel was respectful. But
Right.
anyway, what are your thoughts on this one? You think he's a good fit for Chubb?
I mean, I don't think he'll be able to fill in his shoes completely, but
Yeah.
I think he'll be a good player. He'll be competitive. I think he'll be a workhorse, and he's going to probably be divvying up the time with whoever else is the backup.
Yeah.
But I may be wrong, and who knows. And obviously, I hope Nick Chubb recovers and
I mean,
quickly and a speedy recovery. And I'd like to see him back, but at this point in his career, who knows? It's a tough situation for him, and wish him much love and a lot of prayers.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No one wants to see that happen.
Right.
No one deserves to have that happen. That's just a
Absolutely not.
brutal injury right there. But
Yep.
lastly, in the NFL, we talked Coach Alan Williams of the Bears. So FBI raids his home. And then speculation quickly starts up that he's in trouble for child pornography. How that even got out there out of this whole thing, that's weird. Like, I don't know
Right.
how that pops up. Like that, like Pat McAfee said, that could ruin someone's career for speculating that. But then people are also speculating drug use with other things. I mean, his attorney claims that it's a personal reason, which is why people think that, because I mean, sometimes when it's personal, it's either drugs, alcohol, or something that happened in the family.
Some sexual
I don't
misconduct,
know.
maybe
Huh?
some sort of sexual misconduct.
Yeah, that too. I mean, but then this one though, he comes out, the lawyer says no crime took place. The team said he was about his health and is out for a personal matter, which also kind of confuses things. And then he resigned. Like he acted guilty. Like by resigning, was he forced to resign? Did he do it on his own? Or was it advised by his lawyer? Or was it advised by doctors or whoever's giving him care for those reasons? I mean, there's a lot going on right now. This is really early in the process, but I don't know what's going on. Should we be concerned or should it be left alone?
I mean, depending on what it is, obviously, right? Like,
Yeah,
if it's something that people should know about, then yeah, the people should know. Um,
absolutely.
but it's a tough situation. We don't know. It's whenever we don't have any of the actual information and there's no actual allegations that are public yet. It's a little bit difficult to make that make that decision.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I guess it just really depends on what it is.
it does. It does. And we'll wait to watch that come out, but good thoughts there. Good thoughts. And next we talk WNBA and the final four have been set. Connecticut versus New York, Dallas versus Vegas, my Chicago Sky. They couldn't hold on to Vegas. I mean, that's a powerful team, but Sky barely made it in there, so I'm surprised. I'm just glad they made it. But yeah. So final four, Connecticut, New York. Who you got in that series? Who do you think's gonna win it?
I'm going with New York on this one.
I agree. I agree. And then Dallas, Vegas.
Probably Vegas.
You know, I want Dallas to pull the upset so bad because New
Right.
York, everybody wants the New York Vegas to happen,
Right.
but I don't know. I don't know. Vegas
It's
has
not
the odds, right?
right. Well,
They're in charge of all that.
right. But I think ultimately, anything can happen. So it's
Yeah,
when it comes to basketball, I feel like it's like a 50-50 sport.
true.
It can be any of them can come play, show up and play. For those games.
Absolutely. And then lastly, we talk sporting and the current. And yeah, for sporting, the loss they suffered this last week to Nashville set them back just a bit. And then the current got a huge dub against Angel City. So, I mean, look, at this point, both teams will have to win out, in my opinion, to have any chance at the playoffs. Both teams are very capable of doing so. They really need to play hard, focus, and as Ted Lasso would put it, believe. I mean, I'm serious. Like, if they believe it, they should be able to finish out here. And yeah, if they can do those three things over the final stretch here, I believe they have a great shot at sealing up a playoff spot. It's crazy how these two teams are in the same boat after weird starts to the season, but yeah, they both get all their players back at this point. What do you got?
And most importantly, they need to have fun.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, that's part of the believing part because, I mean, to believe, I feel like you just kind of have to go out there and have fun as a team. And like in the Ted Lasso series, I mean, they had fun whenever they would hit the believe, and then all of a sudden it got torn down. And it's like, oh, we're not having fun anymore. Like someone ruined our fun.
Right.
So that's a good point. Good analogy there. Good point.
Have fun.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get a combo and get one free item with that until tomorrow. So you have tonight, last Friday night. I mean, Joplin's at home this week. Webb's at home this week. Go get some Trackside. And if not tonight,
Sounds good.
go get it tomorrow. It does sound good. It does sound good. And next up, though, we bring in local fighter Brian Jones. And Tony, got a chance to catch up with him. Here's what he
Yeah.
had to say.
Sweet. What's up, everybody? This is Tony in Sports Timeout Podcast. We're doing another one-on-one here with my boy, Brian, the Violent Gentleman Jones. How are you, good sir?
I'm good, Tony. What's up, man?
No, not much, man. Hey, I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to talk with us. I know I interrupted dinner a little bit, but I appreciate you, again, taking a few minutes out of your time to talk with us.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your last fight. I know we interviewed you after. It was a good fight. You won. Another, pretty tough opponent, but you got the win. But tell us, you give us your insight after a few months back. Now that you've analyzed everything.
Yeah, retrospect, man. I definitely felt good going into that fight. Is a new task for me. Someone with more experience. The first guy I fought was a pro debut guy, my pro debut, so it was evenly matched. This guy had some more experience. I wanted to fight someone with more experience. I believe he's 2-3. So, 2 wins, 3 losses. Not a positive record, but he's got a lot of experience. He's been in the boxing game for a long time. Even people I trained with in Arkansas knew about him, said he's a good boxer. And I was just expecting to go out there and really, I was expecting a war. I prepare myself for war every time to go the whole distance, whether it be 4 rounds, 6 rounds, whatever the contract says. But
right.
Yeah, I'd say I was expecting. I think analyzing, looking back, I worked some things in my camp with my drills that applied naturally because I'd worked them so many times. It became muscle memory in that fight. There's a clip where he throws and lands on me, and then he throws the same punch again, and I catch it and shoot back and almost turn his head like an owl all the way around.
Yeah.
And that was a clip right there where I had drilled that for the last 2 months. So
Yeah.
it felt good to
awesome.
go in there and execute that. So
yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's cool that that drilling that you put into play the whole time, your whole camp, that you finally get to display. People think that's a simple technique, right? But to actually do it and implement it in a fight, I can only imagine that it's not easy to remember stuff like that. So you had to really drill stuff in order for you not to forget it and like you said, become muscle memory. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So can you share with us your journey a little bit, now that you're in the world of boxing, and kind of what drew you into the sport initially?
Yeah, so I've always loved fighting, more mixed martial arts than anything. I wrestled for like 6 years. Did pretty well in wrestling, just had a love for competition. So after I got out of high school, I didn't go to college for any athletics. So I think finding my way into MMA was like my first journey. And I took a little hiatus from that. I had a kid, and had to be a father. You got to make some sacrifices sometimes, and personal time's a big one.
Right.
When you have a kid. So I found my way back into boxing just to kind of start losing weight, and just find that passion again. And I don't think I ever lost it. I think I just had to make some sacrifices, and once I found that, then I just fell in love with boxing, because I think if you look at like my MMA career, I was 4-2 MMA, and I had 1 submission, 3 knockouts, and I lost by decision and by submission. So once I started fighting people more in my weight class, the hands was like something I always loved standing up. So like the boxing aspect of MMA was always my favorite.
Right.
And just transitioning straight into boxing really allowed me to focus on that. And it's a whole different world. You always get that comparison of like MMA guys versus boxing, and boxing versus MMA guys, and how they do in other worlds. But they definitely go hand in hand, I think.
Right. Well, and you can't ever have too good of hands, right? So it's your hands, it's the fights always start out standing up, whether you're in MMA or you're in boxing. And I think you can always get better at throwing hands. So I'm glad that you have that perspective on it. So boxing is often described as a mentally and physically demanding sport. How do you prepare yourself mentally before you step into the ring? Are there any techniques or strategies that you use to stay focused or you can say composed even?
Typically I'm usually pretty calm before the fight. Just going through my routine back there with my coach, and we'll go over just things we've done over the whole camp, and just trying to keep my mind focused as far as like what I want to implement inside of the ring that night. And because once your adrenaline gets pumping, I think that's where the veteran side of boxing comes in, is the people who are able to go in there and still stay conscious when that adrenaline takes over. Right. Like you were saying, with the catch counters, like it's harder to implement that stuff when you're in the midst of the combat. So
right.
Just staying sharp, thinking about that, and just getting prepared leading up to it. Just staying disciplined, practicing as much and makes you confident going in there. So
yeah. And is there any sort of mantra that you tell yourself, like for example, when my brother fights, like we have like a specific mantra that I just repeat to him over and over and over again. It's not PG-13, so I can't say it, but it's
yeah.
but it's something, to get him ready. He knows he's about to go to war. Is there like a specific mantra? I mean, and if it's not appropriate, you don't have to necessarily say it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some not PG rated stuff that I definitely talk back there with my coach. We kind of manifest, or I like to speak it into existence, type
Right.
of thing, like you're saying, mantra. So yeah, there's a couple, but definitely not PG rated, but it's just visualizing the win, visualizing the domination, right. and implementing. It's like a switch, man. When you go out there, it's like right. I'm one person one way, but like when I get in the ring, it's like I'm a completely different. It's like different side of me, So
right. In your opinion, what sets a good boxer apart from a great one? Are there any specific skills or attributes that you believe are crucial for the success in the sport?
Yeah, I definitely think there's talent that separates people, but I also believe, I definitely believe the discipline side, the showing up, the more like the relentlessness. If there was a word, I would say relentlessness, like the guy that doesn't quit. Because there's even journeymen in boxing that you see every now and then, the ones that never quit make it somewhere. You know what I mean? So I would say just discipline and relentlessness, man. The knowing you're going somewhere and getting there no matter what any outside effect has to say. And really the best boxers I've surrounded myself with are guys that they work their tail into the boat, like into the ground. You know what I mean? So right. It's the discipline that's showing up on the days you don't want to get up, at 4:30 in the morning to get to practice at 5 a.m. It's all the little things that make you confident, leaving no stone unturned when you go into the fight night. So I think fight nights are easy, man. Right. All the training and sparring and everything I put myself through, sometimes on fight week, I'll go run 7-8 miles. You know what I mean? Just legs be toasted for a week before the fight, just so I can put myself through that pain, so I know they'll be ready for fight night.
Right. Absolutely. Walk us through the emotions and the adrenaline rush that you experience right before you step into the fight. How do you handle the pressure, and how do you maintain the composure during the fight itself?
Some of that stuff I think is nature made. I think what people go through in their life, everybody's journey is a little different. I think it makes it easier for some people to handle pressure. Everybody feels it though, that's for sure. Everybody right. feels the pressure. Yeah, whether your opponent acts like a tough guy or says he isn't scared or whatever, it's like everybody gets nervous before they go in there. And I think for me, what I really like to do is just focus on the goal, like to go in there and implementing, breaking down the things I want to do, and just making the fight my fight.
Absolutely. That's great. And outside of the ring, what do you believe are the most significant challenges that you as a professional boxer faces, or maybe not just you, but just like in general professional boxers face in their career And how do you personally navigate through those challenges yourself?
Man, I would probably say if you are actively fighting and you're searching for hard fights are hard to make in boxing. You see boxers like the mega fights, like Pacquiao Mayweather or Jermell Charlo, Canelo Alvarez. Like you see these mega fights, it takes so long to make these fights happen because people don't want to lose what they got going on, whether it be a record or a flawless record or even money. Yeah, belts, money, whatever it is. I think and even for like up and coming boxers, I feel like it's the exposure side. Just getting the opportunity to fight someone that will put you on the platform, because they'll see you get 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, and then okay, heads start turning. You know what I mean? Okay, who is this guy? And then they kind of look at you and then see if you're really made of something. So
right, no, yeah, that's true. And with that kind of being said, now that one of your teammates, he just got signed by Top Rank. What does that do for you? And what do you think? What do you think about that happening? Obviously, we're happy about it. He's he's your friend, he's my friend, and we're both ecstatic for it. But what does that do for you and the rest of your teammates?
I think it does more than just for me and my team. I think it does something for the community in Joplin itself, the Midwest. There's a lot of talent that comes through here, I think, in our town specifically. And just for him to be able to get on that platform is gonna show the world and on that platform that they're missing out on talent from right here. You know what I mean? So I think Cade getting in the door there is gonna showcase, everything that our coach has taught us, everything that, we have to offer from our city,
Right, absolutely. Well, and I think that, like you said, the Midwest, there's a lot of talent that the Midwest in every sport, in every aspect. I would say there's a lot of talent that gets overseen. I think this is a blue collar, region.
Sure.
And we both come from blue collar backgrounds, and I think we can say that there's a lot of hard nosed, tough guys out there, or just athletes in general, women even. So yeah, I think what you said is right, perfect. But yeah, congratulations to him. While we're on the topic, so boxing has a rich history and is associated with legendary fighters. Are there any boxers that you kind of look up to, or have a style that you like to replicate in the fights, or even like a way of carrying yourself?
Yeah, shoot, man, Arturo Gotti, Joe Louis. I like Canelo Alvarez. I like the lower weight class guys. Tony Bellew, I like him. I got lots of, Mike Tyson, of course, the OGs, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, all those guys. But mostly the fighters I love, or you could say that I really would love to kind of follow in their footsteps. Man, Mickey Ward of Arturo Gotti is probably one of my favorite fights of all time. And I think when I look at my career, I just want to put on shows for people. When someone comes and pays to watch me perform, I want them to leave and be like, man, that was I never seen nothing like that before live. I love supplying the audience with that kind of electricity. So, and it makes me feel good too. And I don't know, it's just something that I love to do, showcase new skills every time. I'm getting better every time I go in there. I'm working harder every camp. And every time I get to do that, and I look up to those guys that have done that on the bigger platform. So,
right, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I particularly kind of like the Mexican style boxers, but I can appreciate a lot of the fighters. Somebody who I really like to watch, who's kind of more of a journeyman now, is Erislandy Lara. He's this really slick Cuban boxer that fought Canelo a few years back, and I thought he fought very well. He's great. I love his style. The Cuban style of boxing is really fun to watch.
That was nice, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so slick. I mean, they always, no matter what, they always put on a tough fight. And then the Mexican style is just tough. They're they're going in there, like Isaac Pitbull Cruz, like he's just a monster.
Yeah, dude.
So like people like that is like the people that I enjoy. Canelo, obviously. But that's awesome, man. So what advice would you give aspiring boxers who have a dream in achieving success in the sport? Are there any key lessons or principles that you learn throughout the career that you believe are essential, or maybe other aspiring athletes that they need to embrace?
The biggest thing I would say is the whole cliche believe in yourself thing. I think something that one of my like mentors told me is you got to believe in yourself before other people do. So you're going to see the vision before they do, and that's with anything, but with boxing, especially because it's a combat sport, people are going to tell you why it's a waste of your time. When I first started boxing, I had so many people, even family members that tell me like, man, so you're just going to end up wasting your time. It's not going to do what you think it's going to do. Why don't you spend your time doing this instead? And people aren't going to understand your dream or your vision. So you just have to be like, hey, I'm going to keep my foot on the gas pedal until something happens. And if it doesn't, at least I get to die knowing that I gave it 100% of my effort. And I don't think just believing in yourself is the answer. I think there's a lot of hard work that you got to put in. Almost like it feels like for me, every camp, it's like I feel like I die a little more every camp, man. Like I put more effort into it every single time. Right. So just that whole leaving the stone unturned, no stone unturned, and just believing in yourself, but putting the work behind it is the best advice I think you can give someone who's wanting to compete in boxing, so that they understand that there's a lot of sacrifice in it, but at the same time, like, don't let no one tell you that you can't do whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish yourself. So
right. Well, and kind of to add to that, I tell, sometimes just having conversations with people, like like-minded, like myself and you, I'm like, if I'm not going to do it, I think about my son, like he's always at the front of my mind. If I'm not going to do it, who will? Like, who's going to teach my son to be the man that I want him to be, right?
Right.
So like if I can't teach him that, who's going to? And I think because of that, that's a positive influence, believing in yourself and all that stuff that you just said. Like, I agree with 100%. If you don't believe in yourself, no one will. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like, I can believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to be able to. Right. So, I think that's great. You hit the nail on the head right there. Lastly, well, actually, there's two more things, but the last question, what can we expect out of you this coming fight?
I think that you guys will see a more elegant fighter this go around. Definitely, you'll see the grittiness come out every time. But I've been working on some things I plan on showcasing this Saturday, and I hope to impress everybody with my new skills. So
heck yeah. And last thing, tickets. You're out of tickets, right?
Yes.
In-hand tickets, but they can get them online, right?
So I get a new batch of tickets tomorrow. I sold out 2 batches. So but it's been crazy. The Joplin's really been getting behind me, man. I really love it. Like, all the support in the community and the business owners, and like I said, believing in yourself first, and then everyone kind of rallying up after. It feels good. So yeah, I'll have more tickets tomorrow morning to pass out, premium and general admission, if anybody needs. I sold out of the ring sides. There's no more ring sides. Like the entire thing is completely sold out of ring sides. So
right.
It'll be a good one, but I'll have more tickets tomorrow in hand. And if you don't, there is a link at worldfightingchampionship.com, and you can go on there and buy whatever's left.
I got you. And I'm gonna put the link on the on the post. That way people, if you guys are watching this, hit the link, select your favorite fighter. When it's time to check out, you guys don't know, obviously the majority of his money is going to come from ticket sales, and local fighters like himself appreciate the support that you guys are giving him. And so
Good stuff out of him, Tony. Yeah. What did you take from that? What was your big takeaway?
Well, I don't know. There was, I guess, one certain thing that I took away. I mean, I think it's always interesting to sit down and talk to somebody who enjoys the sport as much as I do, and kind of exchange information. Kind of what the perspectives can be, and how it's, whether it's about achieving success or self-doubt. All there's so many things that you can talk about that make that sport so great. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not necessarily that I took anything away from it. I think I just enjoyed it. It was a good time.
Yeah, look like it. And good luck to him tonight. And go catch our other one with Carlos, as we just dropped it last night, but we'll refresh it on the page so you guys can catch it today too. And we'll put an extended version of Brian's out there and just leave it solo so you don't have to catch it in the episode later today. We'll put that out tonight before Friday Night Lights and get that out there before his fight Saturday. So, and on that note, we head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Not feeling like cooking this weekend? Go grab some pizza by the slice over there, only Wednesday through Saturday. And again, Friday Night Lights, homecoming, go get some pizza. And we'll start that timer and we'll get ready for some picks. And 3-1 Joplin hosts Nixa tonight. Who you got?
Oh, that was gonna be tough. I'm gonna go with Nixa on this one though.
I've been pulling you this year. I'm going to go ahead and go the underdog and go Joplin. Last year, you pulled the upsets or underdog picks, so I'm going to go Joplin. Next up, Web City hosts Ozark for homecoming.
Web City.
1-3 CJ hosts Branson. Who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with CJ on this one.
Okay. If it's their homecoming, I'll take CJ.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go CJ regardless. But if it's their homecoming, CJ for sure. But yeah.
Right.
Neosho hosts Carthage. Who you got?
I'm probably gonna go with Carthage on this one. I think they're gonna start turning it around and start becoming a little bit more competitive.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna find their rhythm a little bit better.
I'll take the I'll take that. And my timer did not go. I'm sorry. But that's why I keep laughing. I'm just like, well, I hit it like 5 times and it ain't going. So Mizzou hosts Memphis. I take Carthage too. Mizzou hosts Memphis. Who you got?
Mizzou.
I think Mizzou at home. I'll take Mizzou at home over Memphis. They're both 3-0, but I do think it's going to be a good game. Number 12 LSU takes on Arkansas. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Arkansas on this one.
Okay. I'll take Arkansas at home. Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not an LSU fan or an Arkansas fan by any means, but I definitely don't like LSU more. And then MSSU heads to Northeastern State, or hosts, Northeastern State this weekend. Who you got?
Missouri Southern all the way. They've been playing very good.
Yeah.
They're finding the rhythm. No disrespect to Northeastern State, they're just not very good.
Yeah.
Missouri Southern's just gonna be should be a pretty easy win.
Coach Bradley.
Could they lose? Absolutely. Anything can happen. But just the way they've been playing, I'm gonna go with Missouri Southern.
Coach Bradley, I pick you and your Lions and get it done. Yes, NFL, Chiefs host the Bears this week. With all that going on, Chiefs know what it's like. They've been in this situation with Coach Reed's son in the past and what he did and manslaughter charges. Yeah, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. It's going to be a while before the Bears win something, or at least until next week. I don't know who they play next week. So
I'll take the Chiefs here as well. And then Monday night doubleheader, Bucks and the Eagles, Rams versus the Bengals. Who you got there?
I'm going to go with the Eagles, and I'm going to go with the Rams.
Same here. Bengals just aren't there right now. And I think Baker Mayfield's luck ends. I hope it doesn't, but I think it ends right there. The Buccaneers right now with Baker Mayfield are like Coach Prime in Colorado. I just want to see the dude win for some reason. I don't know why, but
right. Yeah, his energy is awesome.
It is.
It's just fun to watch him play.
Indeed. Well, the end of another episode is here, and the music is there as well. For Tony, Jensen, Clint, and myself, have a great weekend. Hope you guys go get some Ghetto's tacos before your game this weekend. Tonight, they got a burrito special, so go check it out. 10% off, I believe, on Fridays. Yeah, we got a lot more offers from them, and we're going to be starting to announce those here. So, shout out to Marcus and Carletto over there and their crew and getting everything done. But enjoy your weekend and enjoy some football. And, we'll catch you next week on the Sports Timeout podcast.
Thank you.